Jake, I've talked to thousands of agents in my career here. That might be the most Jedi move I've ever heard. So, okay, client is, they're interested, but we're just gonna do some, I want to hear some Jake responses. Listen, Jake, this is great. I want to shop around.
Absolutely. So as a broker, it's my job to do the shopping for you, which I already have. The reason we're looking at this NLG illustration right now is just because I've been doing this long enough to know, based on your situation, based on your goal, based on the age, the health, this is who's going to give us, the highest chance of approval, and also do what it is that we need to do to get you to the finish line that you told me, which was, fill in the blank. So I can appreciate, you needing to think about it or want to shop around. Truthfully, shopping around with this product, it's not really, there's no real shopping around. Why? Because with the IUL, this is unlike traditional life insurance, right? With the IUL and what we want to set up for retirement, I'm not telling you how much this is going to cost. You're just telling me what your goal is, and then I can tell you, hey, this is how we can get there on terms of a monthly, payment. But it's you telling me this is what I want to pay myself down the road. So each of these monthly premiums and payments, they're going towards, what you're going to pay yourself in 20 years or in 17 years or in 60 whatever years, right? So I can appreciate, you wanting to look at other options, but we can move these premiums up, down on a monthly basis, and we can look at different numbers. But in terms of you shopping around, there's really not much to shop for. Is it information, you're looking for? Is there something else that, maybe holding you back? Is it a financial conversation you need to have with somebody? Or what could be, another issue that you're having right now?
Oh, solid. Which is why at the beginning of the call, you ask them what other investments they're making, like real estate, or what, how did you frame that at the very beginning?
Yeah. So, what other income producing assets are you going to have when you get to retirement? And so that's good to know. And then another thing, so let's say they give me I do. I need to talk to my wife about it. We got to make sure it's going to be, hey, totally understand. I can appreciate that. I have a family. I understand that you guys want to make sure this is something that's actually going to be viable. The one thing I will say is a lot of things get lost in translation, right? I have my, fiance come with me if I'm going to the doctor, because I want her to hear it from him, because he's the professional, right? He's a medical professional, but I'm a financial professional and I have a license to do this. So just so we don't have anything get lost in translation, I'm happy to do one more call, bring your wife on. I can show her this as well. She can come with any question she has, so we can all make this decision together. Now, for you and your wife to have time to come up with some questions, what's going to give you enough amount of time before we can revisit this? Would 48 hours be enough time for you guys to sit down, find out what the budget is, and then we can sit down and look at this and make sure, she likes the way this looks too. And I got that from John Gavin because I liked it because it kind of takes the pressure off. Hey, I understand that you need to, if they're really hung up right on this objection, it's like, I'm sorry, I have to talk to my wife. No worries. What's going to give you enough time to get that done? And a lot of times I'll lead those Zooms with like, hey, your homework is, remember, you need to find out the budget. You need to, whatever else they need to do. My homework is have this illustration ready for you and your wife on Saturday. We'll do 12:45 your time, whatever, but give them something to go do, give them an actual timeline. And it kind of forces them to stick to that, go collect that information, and then sit down again. So I do like that too.
That's great, bro. It's fantastic. I mean, you're also, they might say, well, just later tonight. She's going to be home in an hour. I just need to
Yeah,
run by her. This
exactly.
sounds good. I make the decisions anyway. I just want to talk it over with her. They may say, give us a
Right.
couple weeks. And then, all right, they're not really
Yeah.
that committed. I didn't set the table enough. I didn't dig in enough information to find out that they're trust fund people and they're just like wasting people's time. Like, I mean, there's always
Right.
different directions you can go, but it's so good. It's just asking those open-ended questions. I would say, so this has been fantastic, Jake. How do you solidify the sale? So app's been submitted. What are is it texts, emails, brownies? Is it a follow-up call from your staff? Does your wife pretend to be your office manager and she calls? Like, what are you doing post, like, app submit? Now, granted, we've got some clerical work within that department, depending on the size of the policy. But what do you do to set yourself up as their agent so they don't fill out any more questionnaires on social media and they don't talk to anybody else and they're your client for life?
That's big, really big. And with a fully underwritten product like the NLG IUL, the Flex Life, there could be, if there's some correspondence with underwriting, like it could be, 10 days. It could be, there could be a buffer there, and you need to stay engaged with them. I'm texting them. I really don't let 72 hours pass without some sort of correspondence. Hey, Grady, just checking in with you. I had a Zoom call this morning with, one of the reps at NLG. He's a great guy. And, it reminded me to check in on your policy and the process there. Everything, it looks good. Underwriting just a little bit backed up. The first time I hear from them, you'll hear from me. Okay, thanks for checking in. Cool. And then so I keep touching them so they know that they didn't just submit and they're like, what's going on with this? That guy, I haven't heard from him, whatever. And then with NLG, we need to get final documents signed. So there's a DocuSign that NLG will send to me and then we'll send to the client. And so I use that as an opportunity to, for one, help them sign it because it can be the code. People can screw it up. So I get them on the phone to sign that. I don't just text like, hey, emails in your, inbox, because people will open it. They'll start going through and they'll say, hey, well, this says this, and I don't know about this, and whatever. So I get them on the phone, say, hey, I want to get you on the phone. I want to help you set up your client app, which there's actually, NLG has a really good client mobile app on the phone. And I'll say, hey, I want to help you set up, or I'll text them and say, hey, I want to help you set up your mobile app. What's a good time to do that? Like I have a call on tomorrow with one of my clients who just got a policy's been issued and they sent out the DocuSign, but I want to get them on the phone to do that, which I will help them download the app and set that up and say, hey, so, we need to sign the final docs before we can set up the app, because we'll need the policy number and it'll need to be signed before it'll let us create your account on the mobile app. And then, so we'll do that. We'll have them sign, set up the mobile app for them, and then I will schedule an annual review with them from there, and so they understand.
Annual review, like put it on their calendar for a year out.
Yep. So they understand, like, hey, I'm locked in with this sucker. We have a call in 12 months to review the growth, see what the market did, and from there, so I'll say put it on your calendar, our annual review, and so then they know that's upcoming, and it's not like you're just never going to hear from this guy again, so I think that helps too, and then what I've been trying to do, I just had a little kind of funnel built out for referrals. And so I'll send them and I'll say, hey, you can get, I think, to be compliant, it's $25 per referral. So I'll send them a sheet and they can put in their referral info and say, for every referral who gets placed, I'll get you a $25 You know, you let me know your method of payment, whatever, I'll send you whatever. And so that helps too, because for these people that have already done business with you, the trust is there. So it's now and which is really the hardest part, right? And so once that's there, of course I'm going to refer you to, and I get, you know, I get 3 people, I get, you know, $75, whatever. So that's big too.
Jake, I've talked to thousands of agents in my career here, and no one has ever said they schedule an annual review at the close of the app. That might be the most Jedi move I've ever heard, because in all things, whether it's relationships or business or recruiting, when you anchor something to the future, it creates like an invisible band of like trust, and also something that we're committing to. Like
Right.
they're committed to you on that call by flipping their day timer over, or getting in their phone, or you send them a calendar invite and them accepting for 12 months out, that regardless of if they even see it for 11 and a half months, is so brilliant. Is that a Jake original?
Um,
Take it. It's Jake original today.
Know.
Jake.
Well, I appreciate it. To be honest, I think what I did was I forget who was, I was at a Vegas lock-in in Andrew's office, which I would say to everybody, go to eat everything that you can to meet people, to learn, to hear different stuff, because just you can take tidbits from everybody. But something about like a 2 or a 4 week follow-up or something. But I was just like, well, might as well push it out. But the reason why I did that with the IULs is because this is actually something that compounds and grows on an annual basis. And
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, oh, this is great, because I can come back to them every 12 months with either good news or good news. We didn't lose any money because the market went down, but you didn't. You didn't lose a penny. Or, hey, the market went up 17%, your account grew 14%. Awesome. Congrats. You know, so, and I'll use that sometimes, like, just to be funny. I'll be like, I don't actually have a license to lose you any money. The reason I chose insurance was because you didn't have to be smart enough to lose people's money. I actually don't have a license to do that. All these products are, you know, downside protected, and so I'll use that sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good way to hammer people down, and also develop that relationship, because just because you don't get any referrals or, you know, whatever, maybe that for, but on the annual review, ask again. You know, maybe they met 10 people in the last 12 months. They started a new job or whatever, and they went to a new real estate brokerage, and everyone was, oh, we just were talking about on lunch, you know, last week, what we're going to do for retirement and setting stuff up. I told a couple of people I was talking to you next week, so I'd give you their info or whatever. You don't know what happens, you know, over 12 months, but yeah, I think it's a good tool for sure.
For sure. It's a testament to, you know, being in the trenches and figuring it out, and put yourself in the position where you're making it happen. At the same time, in 12 months, they could be making more money and like the way it's performing, and buy another one. Or, you know, so referrals
That
and
too.
or you're solidifying your, you know, that last 14 months of persistency. But I mean, it's the habits of greats. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. So I love it, man. I know you're building a team. I want to get you on a call, talk about more stuff as we can, but any final thoughts you've got on the business, insurance? There's hundreds of baby agents out there getting started, ready to start crawling and walking and buying leads and getting after it. What do you got for them to fire them up and send them off on this day?
Yeah, man, I would just say, you've got to control what you can control, and that's your work ethic. I would say find somebody in the business that you resonate with, or who's done, you know, the things that you want to do, or, you know, is where you aspire to be. Ask some questions, but also understand that whether it's sports, whether it's business, it's a performance based, you know, endeavor. And so you got to understand that, people are going to want to help you, but not if you're not helping yourself. And so it doesn't mean you necessarily have to put up huge numbers to get the ear of somebody who's, where you want to be. But it does mean that you need to show them consistency, work ethic. You need to over communicate, unwavering loyalty to those people who are pouring into you. And those people who are really hungry and are giving it everything they have, those are the people that, others, and especially, people that are most successful in this business are going to want to pour into and give back to, because they see, they're doing everything they possibly can to be successful, and they're controlling all the controllables. So find somebody who, you can learn from, try to bring value to them in whatever way you can. And just be good to people. And I think that, that'll come back to you for sure.